hope you're well. We're going to have a look at some buildings, and specifically we're going to look at the outside of the buildings. Our designs need to think about, and we need to think about our buildings, and we need to think about the external parts of the building, the walls, the roofs, and what regular buildings have a lot of. If we look closely here, you can see that there are lots and lots of repeating patterns. Here I've opened up a repeating pattern in clay, which is on the roofs here. So these are the roof tiles. Okay. What I'm looking at as well are the sides of the buildings, where we can see each individual floor here is exactly the same as the one before, with the exception of these two at the top, which must be special parts of the building. Here we can see old style buildings, sort of from the Greek times. Here it says Greek architecture. Old Roman buildings are very similar to this too, and you can see that they are repeating pillars here. So if we have a look at the external parts of the building, we do another slight different search rather than repeating patterns, you can see that, and when we look plainly at the outside of buildings, you can see that they have neat parts of the building which have texture and material. Here we've got wood, here we've got brick, here we've got more brick. And you can see that inside this brickwork and in the timber work here, you can see that there are repeating patterns. So we're going to take a look in a moment at how to go and make these sort of custom materials and custom shapes, these kind of shapes that we have in our buildings too, that are relatively unique to the building itself. And we're going to have a look in TinkerCAD to see how we can go about making these repeating patterns for our materials and our textures on the outside of our buildings. Lastly, we're going to take a look at the components that we want to make. So as I continue to roll through here, you can see that there are many components that we have decided to use for how our amphibious creature gets from the water to the land and from the land to the water. So lots of us have windows. Lots of us have these components such as chimneys, ladders, and walkways that get from one part of the building to the next. Right, I'm going to pop over to TinkerCAD and I'm going to show us how to go and create custom shapes, repeating patterns, and textures for our components.